you are not the only case.
Exactly.
There were other cases in which they were certain that the windows were not
Like
open.
yeah, like after me, everyone was super cautious about the locks and everything. And still, it happened twice, just like 3 days later, and 10 times this past year alone. Like, not including these three incidents.
While all the eyes are right now on the Rapid and Blitz World Championship games happening in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, there was a big controversy. Not, in fact, a controversy, an incident that happened in Sunway Siege in Spain, a tournament that a lot of people have talked about. It's one of the most acclaimed tournaments of the year. Definitely an open that a lot of people want and are usually going to play. It happens at the end of December. It's in a beautiful place in Spain, close to Barcelona. But this year, unfortunately, there were some very dangerous incidents that happened. And to talk more about that, we have Grandmaster Sankalp Gupta. Sankalp, you just got back from Siege. In fact, you are right now in Madrid playing another tournament. But today we need to talk about what happened in Siege. Tell us about it.
Uh, yes, thank you. By the way, just I'm playing a tournament in Paris, not Madrid.
Oh, Paris. Okay, okay.
So this was actually my fifth time playing in Sitges. Uh, each year the tournament was quite good and the stay was quite comfortable as well. I was staying at the Sunway Apollo Apartments, and on 19th December, after the seventh round, when we returned from the game, I and my roommate, as soon as we entered, we noticed both of our laptops were not there, and the windows were open, and there had been a break-in. Like my roommate lost his shoulder bag, which had his passport in it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, this was a break-in. This was on 19th December. We contacted the organizer. The hotel director came to our place. He looked around. He took us to the police station. We filed the reports and everything. And because my roommate lost his passport, he had to withdraw from his tournament. But I continued playing on. We were not sure why this happened. Like I was 100% sure that I had closed my windows, but I was not sure if I had locked it or not. So the
Mm-hmm.
window
Mm-hmm.
was closed, but I did not remember if it was locked or not.
What floor were you
Later on,
guys
we were on the ground floor.
on the ground floor? Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And in the police station, the person who took us there, he translated for us. Like the police was only talking in Spanish. And yeah, this was on 19th December. We came back and we continued on. Like the next day, my roommate went to embassy. I continued on with my tournament.
Were you still
But
able? You were missing a laptop. You were not able to prepare anymore, right? Like how did you deal with that problem? How did that
uh,
affect you psychologically as well, technically and psychologically?
so yeah, like I lost a lot of my preparation because I don't remember when was my last backup, but it was around 6 months maybe. So I did lose a lot of preparation. I used to go to my friend's apartment who was staying in San Pola, and I used to borrow his laptop for some time and prepare on his laptop.
Okay, okay. So it definitely created a lot of inconvenience for you. But obviously, the big problem is that you don't have your laptop. Sure, a laptop can be replaced, but all the information that was stored on that
Exactly.
laptop cannot be replaced. And that's a big loss for chess players. Give us a little bit of background of these apartments, because we generally have this impression that everybody's housed at, let's say, the playing hotel. But this was a little bit different. How is the housing compartmentalized at Siege?
So the venue is the Sitges Hotel, which is located on one corner of the town, let's say,
Hmm.
and approximately 1.5 to 2 kilometers away, there are many apartments owned by the Sunway Group as well. So they're like Sunway Apollo, Sunway Amapola, Sunway San George, Sunway Tara, Sunway Arizona. Some of them are grouped together. For example, Sunway Amapola, Atlanta, and Arizona, while some of them are separate. For example, Sunway Apollo. So they have their own entrance. but there is no person at the entrance per se. Like you can just open with your room card
Hmm.
or by entering the code. And once you enter, then there are in Apollo, I think I'm not sure, but one, two, three. There was like I think 3 or 4 floors. I think 3 floors there. So like 0, 1, 2, 3,
Hmm.
and maybe 8 to 10 apartments per floor, or maybe 12, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know the structure of the other
There's
apartments,
no
but
security at the
yeah, there is
entrance.
no security at all. Yeah.
So you can enter if you have a code or if you have a room key. Is there any way to enter without those?
You can just jump over the walls.
How
They're not
high
that
are the
high.
walls?
They are not that high. Like, and there are also, so the door is there, and if you walk a bit, then there is a place in the where the walls are even less high.
Okay.
So someone can easily jump over. And also, I want to mention that there are no security cameras at the Apollo apartment as well.
No security cameras. Okay, that's quite
No
important
security.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it does seem like it doesn't necessarily have to be like an inside job, if you might say. Like they don't need to actually have a code or a room key, but they can just simply jump over the fence and get to the respective apartments.
Yeah, like, but they still need to open the door, like,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
uh, because okay, let's say in my apartment, we don't remember if we had locked or not. I
Okay.
think it was locked, but I'm not 100% sure. But in the other break-ins,
So there are other
after
break-ins because we haven't discussed about that. Tell us about the other break-ins as well.
on 22nd December, when the tournament ended, I went to the prize distribution at around 7:30, and around that time, I got to know that there was another break-in at Sunway San George apartment. But okay, so on 19th, when this happened, obviously, like the players there, especially the Indians, the news spread around, and all of them were worried, and they were very cautious with their uh, locks and everything. And this apartment was situated on the first floor. I think it in Sunway San George.
Mm-hmm.
There were, I think, 5 people were staying in that apartment. It was a two-bedroom apartment. One person was sleeping in the room, while the others had went out for a 40-45 minute walk.
From what I've seen, that was in Sunway, Arizona.
No, this is Sunway San George.
Okay, this was Sunway, San George. Okay, because I
Yeah,
read somewhere that something happened in Sunway, Arizona as well.
yeah, that is the third
We'll
incident.
get to that one. Okay, so there's a third incident. Okay, okay, let's stay with the second one. Sunway, San George.
Yeah, so when my friends returned from their walk, they noticed that again the balcony door is open, wide open, and Monica, she lost her laptop. Srija, she lost her mobile phone, and some other cash, jewelry, her bags, and all. Luckily, the thieves this time threw their passport in the balcony, and so they still have their passports.
So the thieves left the passports behind.
Yeah,
They
in
took
the
the
second one,
laptop, they took the cash, but at
the
least
mobile.
they left the passport.
Yeah, and this happened while the third person is sleeping in the room. Like one person is sleeping in one of the bedroom.
What did they say? Did they hear anything? Did you get to chat
No.
with them?
I asked CRG Krishna, he was sleeping in the bedroom, but no, he did not hear anything.
Are the bedrooms separated by a door, or like what's the layout of those bedrooms?
Uh,
Like, could he just be sleeping deeply and not have heard that?
yeah, I think that is possible because I have not seen the San George apartment, but from Apollo, what I know is my layout was you enter, there's the dining table as soon as you enter, there's a kitchen on the right. If you go straight, there's the living room, and on the right, there's the bedroom. So it is technically possible that if someone is entering and they do not make a lot of sound, and you're sleeping deeply, you don't wake up.
Yeah. And he could also be just expecting that his roommates are coming back and not pay too much attention to it. Okay, they came back. Even if he's sleeping, like let's say semi asleep, and he hears something, okay, they're my roommates that just got back, basically.
Yeah, that's possible as well.
So, what was the consensus in general from your talks with these people? Do they think that something nefarious happened um, as an inside job, or do they think that, like, how do they view this incident? What do they think happened? How did they get? How did these people get access to and the information that there's something of value in those apartments as well?
We are not at all sure how they got access because in the San Jose apartment, like for example, in Apollo, the room can be opened with a key like this, like the hotel card,
Mm-hmm.
like this one. But in San Jose, they have just a manual lock and key. So the main entrance to the apartment can only be opened via lock.
Okay.
And either you can force your way to the balcony.
Okay.
So um, I think they must have entered via the balcony by using force. And some of my friends tried later on to just use force to open the balcony, even if the balcony door, even if it was locked, and they said they could manage to do it.
They could
So
manage to do it.
yeah,
So it was possible. It was. Was it easy? Was it loud? Do you have any of those details?
no, I don't have those details.
Okay, okay. Yeah, no problem. And okay, this was the second incident.
Yeah.
They lost the laptops and this happened 3 days after the one that happened to you. This was on the
Yes,
22nd, yours happened on the 19th. And what about
and
the third incident in Sunway, Arizona? Yes,
yeah,
you
and
wanted to
both
say something
incidents
else?
happened around 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay, that's important
Uh,
as well.
because when I returned from my game, I could still see find my like I lost my AirPods Pro as well. So in my find my devices, I could see that they were active at 6:10 at the Apollo apartment address,
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
and I can still track them. We'll talk about that later.
And how about the last incident, the one at Sunway, Arizona?
Yeah. So uh, in the Sunway, Arizona, two of my friends, Arpita Mukherjee and Vishwa Shah, were staying. Arpita even called me at around 12:15, I think, in the night, saying that she's very scared about these robberies and all. And so I told her, okay, just 2, 3 more days, and now that the tournament is over, just try to stay safe and take care. Uh, they slept at, they went to sleep at around 2:30 a.m. and Arpita mentioned with the phones beside the bedside table. So they're staying in the bedroom. Their phone is on the bedside table. When she woke up at 6:30, Vishwa lost her mobile phone, Arpita lost her laptop, and so someone entered at the night when they were sleeping in the bedroom.
But this is absolutely insane. And did they hear anything during the night, or were they
No,
like silent?
no, they could not hear anything.
Wow, wow, yeah.
And
It
I also
means
want to mention
whoever entered was a professional, was very silent. They knew exactly what they were doing. This
exactly.
sounds like a professional job.
No, because later on when I was reading the like after my incident and I was quite furious, yeah. So I was reading on Google reviews that this has happened at least 10 times in the past year at the Sunway properties. Like the part I was staying in Sunway Apollo Sandra.
Mm-hmm.
The beside one was I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Helene, like
Mm-hmm.
Helene apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Same type of robbery had happened at Helene just I think 2 months ago. 5 months ago, a similar incident had happened at Arizona, where three people were sleeping in the room. The thieves entered. No one woke up, nothing. And when the guys woke up in the morning, they lost their mobile phones, laptops, and other stuff.
Yeah.
So this has been happening repeatedly at their properties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is not confined, let's say, to this chess tournament. It happened outside of the chess tournament as well at these
yeah,
properties. Yeah, this seems
yeah,
like a systemic problem.
yeah.
Now, what happened after all of these break-ins? Were you guys taken to the police station? You mentioned that you did go to the police
Yeah.
station. What did the police people say?
So we all went to the police separately, of course, because we went on the 19th and the other guys went on 22nd, I think. So the person who took us, in my case, we told him what happened and he translated us for the police because the police was not speaking in English.
Okay.
And I guess it must be the same for those guys as well. I'm not sure
Did
because I was not.
did you guys have like a translator? Did the organizers maybe give you a translator to go to the police station
No,
with?
someone from the hotel went with us. He took us from our apartment to the police station and he was translating us.
Okay.
And yeah, at in my case, I'm quite surprised. Like we've specifically told him that we are 100% sure that the windows were closed. But in my report, they wrote that we left the windows open. And
Mm.
that is what the Sunday group tried to say in their statement as well. Like they tried to shift the blame on the players, saying that there are speculations that we left our windows open.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, even if the windows were open, they should. This is not an excuse to normalize these things, right? Like even if they were open, but obviously, uh, you're saying that they weren't. That you're almost
Yeah,
100% sure that they weren't. So
yeah,
there's a big distinction there. And again, you are not the only case.
exactly.
There were other cases in which they were certain that the windows were not
Like
open.
yeah, like after me, everyone was super cautious about the locks and everything. And still, it happened twice, just like 3 days later, and 10 times just this past year alone. Like not including these three incidents. I have like the screenshots of the reviews and everything, which I posted on Twitter as well.
And finally, what did the organizers say
Uh,
about all these incidents? Did you guys get to talk to them?
yeah.
Where did you guys leave this whole process when you had to go to your next tournament?
So when we asked the organizers about it, they said like they would like to help us, but there's nothing they can do about it, which I find quite strange, honestly. Like when this has been happening repeatedly at their properties. And later, when we asked like if there is any insurance or compensation, they told us that they can give us free entry to the buffet at the party.
Okay, that's kind of a joke, yeah. Did they
Yeah.
try to go to speak with at the police station? Did they try to file a report as well? Like, let's say, a more conclusive report encompassing all the incidents that happened to try to, solve this big problem somehow.
Not that we are aware of, because I left Sitges on 25th, I think, but the organizers did not pick up my message. They saw my message but did not reply to my messages on 24th, did not pick up my calls as well.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's sounds very unfortunate because again, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a very sought after tournament. It
Yeah,
has a stellar reputation, and it did not. This did not happen in previous years. So
yeah, like
it's a big problem. It's a big stain, and this has to be solved somehow. Has to be addressed somehow because not only that you guys lost your laptops and whatnot, the information that you had, which is very valuable in itself, but it's also very dangerous, right? I mean, somebody can hurt
exactly.
you like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's say you wake up and you confront these people, you can get hurt. That
yeah.
is
They might
dangerous.
kill you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Sankalp, this sounds very scary, and I'm glad that you're okay. I'm sorry about everything that you've lost, but again, it's very important that you didn't and everybody else didn't get hurt. Now,
Yeah.
any final thoughts? Do you see how any of this can be addressed, can be solved from your perspective?
Um, like I really feel the organizer should look into these incidents because this is not these are not isolated incidents as they have claimed to do so. Like these are happening repeatedly. They should really increase security measures as well, because if strangers can enter or thieves are entering the apartments, this is really dangerous. And also, I could still track my airport AirPods Pro. Like, I don't really care about the AirPods as much, but I thought we could get some information from the guys who have it. Like, either they are the thieves themselves or they sold it off to someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I was asking the police and the person who took us, like, if maybe I should go by myself, like, if you guys are not coming.
Yeah.
And they just told me that no, it's a very dangerous area, like one of the worst one in Barcelona, and they recommended me not to go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, either some action should be taken by the organizers to address this, or maybe some action should be taken against the organizers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure this is probably going to develop in certain ways in the coming weeks, and I hope that at least it will be addressed. So thank you very much, Sankalp, for joining me, and good luck in your tournament in Paris.
Thank you so much for having me. Like,
Of
thanks a
course.
lot. Thank you.
Of course.